Thank you for helping me complete my task. Now, I need to return to Vivec City. Have you been there? It's amazing. Ziggurats rising out of the water, the moonlit hanging in the sky above. You should meet me there so I can introduce you to Lord Vivec. Just between us, I understood neither the questions asked nor the answers received. Not that I expected to. Some things aren't meant for mortal minds. That's another reason for you to come to Vivec City, to help me explain what my ancestors said. Excellent. I just need to make a quick stop in Delyn to check on my original traveling companions. When you get to Vivec City, head right to the palace and I'll meet you there. I know that Lord Vivec will want to reward you for assisting me. I'll be along shortly. When you get to Vivec City, head directly for Lord Vivec's palace. Once there, I'll make introductions and we can tell the warrior poet everything we've learned. Of course. As I said, the tribunal consists of our 3 living gods, Vivec, Almalexia, and Sothosil. They lead us in spiritual matters and rule over Dunmer society as god monarchs of the Dark Elves. I serve Vivec, but honor the entire tribunal. Unfortunately, no. The Dunmer houses bow to the tribunal, but the savage Ashlanders refuse to acknowledge their divinity. The heretics never allowed themselves to be assimilated into the great houses. Instead, they hold to primitive superstitions.
Overseer Shiralas is going to kill me if we don't get more stone in soon. But do I have a say in that? No, of course I don't. A senseless death if I ever heard one. By the 3, I've never seen the mountain so active. And Bardao! I swear the moonlit looks like it's about to fall from the sky. I can't wait to set sail and put dry ground behind me.
Get on or get moving. I don't have all day. Where are you going?
You look like you know your way around a riding beast. Try one of my fine mounts on for size and see if you don't agree. You won't find better anywhere in Morrowind.
So much to do.
I don't know how we're going to get all this done. I miss the days when I could just request another contingent of slaves.
Honest merchant, trust this one.
Come, do your trading here.
Hello there.
The Red Mountain? Oh, that's just noise and smoke. Nothing to be concerned about. I'm almost certain it won't erupt during our lifetime. Lord Vivec and the Tribunal would never allow such a thing.
May I help you?
Welcome to the Guild Hall, Knowledge Seeker. What brings you here?
We're book hunters of a sort. We seek out new information, capture it in our libraries, and make copies for distribution across Tamriel. The Guild... We provide training in unique spells and abilities only available to members. And from time to time, projects crop up for those with an adventuresome spirit. You may end up working with the Guildmaster himself. Excellent. You are now a student of the Mages Guild. Every book you find will now earn you reputation in the Guild.
Don't you just love Vardenfell? You must agree that there's nowhere else in the world quite like it. I'm just glad the Guildmaster decided to send me here. The experience has been exhilarating, to say the least.
I find this land strange. I appreciate the long and cherished magical tradition, really I do, but all the insects and giant fungi? Well, to be honest, the whole country makes the hair on the back of my neck stand on end.
It isn't that Serbi wishes to steal from a god, she just needs to get by, like everyone else.
What have you brought me today? Hopefully something of value.
My clientele is interesting, to say the least. Don't worry, though. I'll make sure no mud or blood gets on your items.
You bring it, I buy it. And I'm not picky on what it is.
You think this lot is bad? Try working with merchants. They're more cutthroat than the shadiest figure here.
Outlanders. Who else but the ignorant savages from other lands would barge into my office and expect to be able to just speak to someone of my stature? Incredible. No offense intended, of course.
If you aren't here to work, I'm not here to talk.
Do I look like someone who has time to chat? Because I assure you, I do not. Tax collectors are occasionally robbed making their rounds, but until recently, the assessment offices were rarely targeted. There has been Alves Droth, the functionary investigating these thefts, believes the thieves have established themselves in Puk. Go retrieve the stolen taxes and records. This city needs those monies. Alves can be found here in Vivec, if you need more to go on.
The jobs I hand out aren't easy, but they are well rewarded. Ivulun Andromo is looking for someone to help him put some ancient spirits to rest at the Salothan tomb. You up for it? Kill them. Again. They seem to think they're still in some old battle. Their last, I'd wager. And they attack anyone who approaches. Andromo may know more. He's been studying the tomb for some time now.
Another adventurer looking for work? Did you? Well, that's why it was posted. It's simple. Citizens tell us what they need, and we arrange for the job to be completed. You will be able to meet with the client before starting the task. They'll also have your reward, not us. Belleru Omeril and her brother Traylan will handle your assignments. Check in with them frequently to see if they have a job for you. They'll inform you what you need to accomplish and who made the request. I would hope. You came to us, after all. Traylan and Belleru are just down the hall. They should already have assignments for you. Speak to either of them to get started.
Please, Vivec! This is the person who helped me at the tomb, my lord.
Lord Vivec, we don't need the help of this outlander.
Oh hush, Archcanon Tarvis. Outlanders have their usefulness, and this one intrigues me.
As you say. I'll be in my office if you need me.
Step forward, friend of Llevule, and let us speak. Canon Llevule says you helped him in his mission. As I have written, the one who helps my ally becomes my friend. Despite the Archcanon's concerns, I greet you with sincerity and pose a simple question. Will you assist us further, Outlander? I have ordinators and armigers at my disposal. Vast armies of followers and dedicated priests. What I don't have, however, is a fresh perspective. Will you set aside your personal goals for a time and become the eyes and ears of a god? Good. I need assistance to investigate a strange phenomenon that the ancestor confirmed may indeed be a problem. We'll start with a simple divination ritual. Archcanon Tarvis can tell you what we need to delve into this mystery. The Daedric Prince. I suppose the same events that concern me might interest Azura, though she could just as easily be the source of these troubles. Red Mountain, strange Daedra, and then there's... well, we'll talk more about that when you return. The situation that troubles me has taken a toll on my Archcanon, but he's a faithful servant. Tarvis will do as I say, and I say we need your assistance. Find the Archcanon in his office, and he'll tell you how to proceed. Llevule's ancestor assured me that a source of power remains safe. As for the rest, let the guess ripen in the mind, and only speak when the fruit grows certain. I require more information on these matters, hence the need for the divination ritual.
Archcanon Tarvis carries the burden of Lord Vivec and the entire palace atop his shoulders. He'll serve as your guide in this undertaking for Lord Vivec, and, if need be, you can always find me somewhere near the palace.
Enter the Library of Vivec. Well, have you come to see our wonder in miniature? Our magnificent tribute to Morrowind? Alas, the work is not yet complete, and, truth be told, there is more to our miniature Vvardenfell than simply a representation of our land at a reduced scale. Indeed, and once complete, it will point us to the location of the lost Library of Andul, the secret repository of the knowledge of the great houses. I just need someone to help me handle the legwork, as it were. Well, that's the rub. Literally. The ancient families of Vvardenfell hid the location of the library and then placed clues to find it at their ancestral tombs. I need someone to take rubbings of these clues. Will you help me solve this mystery? Excellent. Let's start with a simple one. Head north of Vivec and travel to the Orthrellas ancestral tomb. Look for a stone plaque near the tomb and take a rubbing of the words inscribed upon it. Return to me with the rubbing and, well, you'll see. Every important family owns at least one tomb. Of course, I'm most interested in those that predate the rise of the great houses. Specifically, we're hoping to recover records presumed lost during the War of the First Council. Oh, genealogical records related to the earliest Velothi settlers. It could improve our understanding of the origins of the great houses 100-fold. And who knows what other lost knowledge waits within the library. It really is quite exciting.
Ah, Outlander. Lord Vivec trusts too much to put his faith in one such as you, but who am I to question my god? I suppose he sent you to me so I could put you to work? Did he say which task he wants us to accomplish first? Ah, yes. We do need to perform a ritual to reveal the nature of the phenomenon that vexes Lord Vivec. Now listen closely. I hate to repeat myself. Despite my objections, Vivec believes you were sent to help, so I'll do my best to assist you. Go to the ziggurat that's still under construction and tell the overseer that Lord Vivec requires the blessing stone. Then bring it to me in the palace. You receive a simple errand in the service of Lord Vivec, and countless questions form unbidden in your mind. Very well. Go ahead. Ask your questions. It's not like I'm the busy arch-canon of a living god or anything. Ah, the ignorance of Outlanders. How refreshing. The Blessing Stones serve as repositories for small amounts of Lord Vivec's power. They allow his favor to permeate sanctified locations. We need such a stone to power the divination ritual. If you haven't guessed yet, the phenomenon interferes with Lord Vivec's power in unusual ways. It will be safer for everyone if I perform the ritual by using the Blessing Stone instead of drawing on my Lord's personal store of energy. Even if I told you, you wouldn't comprehend it. Lord Vivec's senses eclipse those of mere mortals. Suffice it to say, he feels a disturbance in the flow of energy throughout Vvardenfell. He seeks to discover the source of that disturbance. Lord Vivec sees signs and portents everywhere. It's the poet at his core. I tend to be much more pragmatic. Sometimes a volcano is simply a volcano, and not a harbinger of doom. As for the Daedra, I have no idea. Perhaps the summoning got out of hand. Offend me? You give yourself too much credit. No, I feel the same about all Outlanders. This is tribunal business, best handled by tribunal resources. However, I also obey my Lord Vivec, so I will tolerate your involvement and do my best to aid you.
Vivec may protect these lands, but you know who keeps the rest of the world safe from the likes of Molag Bal? That would be the Fighters Guild. Hoorah!
We have many customs I suppose will seem odd to you. Never fear, you seem odd to us too. Please bear in mind we don't eat with our hands or appreciate inappropriate displays of public nudity. Or burping. We consider that to be particularly rude.
Have mercy.
This project has been nothing but one disaster after another. How am I expected to get this ziggurat built on time when things constantly go wrong? Don't mind me. I'm just having one of those days. Our blessing stone? Do you know what happens if we give up our blessing stone? Well, neither do I, but I'm sure it won't put us back on schedule or end our string of disasters. I'm not one to disagree with the Archcanon, but that's a terrible idea. Lord Vivec? Well, why didn't you say so? But I'll need your help before I can turn over the blessing stone. The passage that leads to the consecration chamber collapsed, trapping some of my workers. If you can clear the way, you can borrow the stone. I appreciate the help. Just remember that you're only borrowing the stone. It needs to be back in the consecration chamber before the next shift, or we'll never get this ziggurat constructed in time.
I was gonna die under there. Oh, thanks for saving me.
Thank you. I'll go tell the Overseer what you did for me.
Praise Vivec!
The Outlander returns. I understand there was trouble at the construction site, but you were able to save a few of the workers. Lord Vivec always draws the straightest arrow from the quiver. Praise the tribunal. Did you breathe? Stand over there. In Canon Level's absence, you will form the third corner of our ritual triangle. When you're ready, place the blessing stone, and we'll begin the ritual. Hear the words of the warrior poet, and reveal the source of Lord Vivec's distress. An Ashlander? A clockwork mage? Daedric cultist? Something interfered with the ritual, my lord. But we may have learned something. Excuse me while I compare the results to our previous research.
Between the cryptic warnings of the ancestor spirit and the unexpected result of the divination ritual, I fear there may be more astir than I imagined. We solved the greatest mysteries by accident, I suspect. I should write that down. We learn from every action we take. Failure or success, each result teaches us something, at least in the larger sense. To be more specific, no, not as much as I hoped. Images that suggest avenues to investigate, riddles to solve. Let me tell you a secret, Outlander. It concerns a living god, an energy that fades like daylight as dusk spreads across the land. Listen well, and speak not a word. My divine energy, it drains away. Whether from illness or foul malady, I know not. You must travel the land and seek answers on my behalf. But first, gratitude before service, as I have written. So thank you. The ritual confirmed my worst fears. Divine energy flows out of me for no reason that I can discern. I felt the power imbued within my blessing stone get wrenched away as soon as you added it to the ritual. I couldn't stop it. To quote my own words as the warrior poet, no lock exists that the determined thief cannot open. Follow the trail of my missing energy, and try to discover the identity of the enemy Llevule's ancestor warned us about. Something drains my energy. Find Archcanon Tarvis in his office, and ask if he gleaned anything useful from the ritual. If not, I know his earlier research indicated new avenues to investigate. Go where he tells you, and learn what you can. My divine energy diminishes with every passing moment, but the ritual confirmed my affliction is not natural. I regret that I could not reveal the full nature of these dire circumstances until your trustworthiness had been demonstrated. Yes, while Archcanon Tarvis has always been cautious about ideas and ideologies that didn't originate within the Tribunal, and recently, that prudence has grown 1,000-fold. He's a faithful servant, however, despite his narrow-mindedness. I've always used my power freely and without detriment. I create the blessing stones, hold the moonlit above the city, and perform 100 miracles a day to benefit my people. I begin to feel the toll this liberal application of divinity costs me. I care little for my own safety, but my people are another matter. Without my power to stop it, the moonlit will crash into the city and kill hundreds, perhaps thousands of innocents. And that would be just the start of Vvardenfell's woes. At first, I barely noticed the loss of energy. But as I continue to grow weaker, the more it feels like an attack against my person. Besides, the ancestor spirit confirmed that an ancient enemy was to blame. We just need to determine who before... Let us not dwell on disasters to come when we have problems enough to deal with in the here and now. Consult with Archcanon Tarvis and discover the source of this attack. Then we can put an end to it and not worry about what might have been. They always chide me about my flagrant displays of divinity, but so far, I am the only one of the living gods whose power is fading. Almalexia hoards her energy and has barricaded her temple against attack. As for Sotha Seal, my brother, travels. We have not heard from him for quite some time, but I sense that he remains safe and in possession of his full power. Funny. He always wanted to discover the limits of our divinity. Perhaps I will solve that mystery for him.
I performed that ritual countless times, and it never exploded in my face before. If I discover that you sabotaged the divination... No. I shouldn't take my failure out on you. It's not your fault that things are... difficult. How do you know about... Lord Vivec told you? Of course he did. It's his prerogative, I suppose. You must swear to keep this secret, though. There would be panic in the streets if the people believed one of the tribunal was incapacitated. It's true. I'm much better at scholarly pursuits than field work, and the ritual wasn't a total failure. It confirmed 3 locations from my earlier studies: Bolmora, Aldrin, and Berelzar's tower. I need you to investigate each of these sites. I researched what I could using the resources available here in Vivec City. To learn more, I need an agent to personally assess each location. Lord Vivec thinks you're the best one for that job. I hope he's right. I believe the mage seen in the ritual is Berelzar, who works out of an ancient Velothi tower. His experiments radiate energy similar to Vivec's affliction, but they're not a perfect match. Find out what he knows about the transfer of divine energy. House Redoran controls the town and nearby mines. House Halalu also has interests in the region. Rumors of a cult in the area concern me the most. I believe we saw a cultist during the ritual. Make discreet inquiries and see what you can learn. I have no idea. That's why we're sending you. I suggest you start at the inn. Secrets get spilled along with the drinks in such places. The miners may know something as well. I've heard that House Redoran has issued some kind of proclamation. Savage Ashlanders, like the one seen in the vision, use the area as a tribal meeting ground. These nomadic heretics deny the divinity of the tribunal and have no love for Vivec. But how they could be involved eludes me. See what you can. I traced tendrils of Vivec's energy to these locations, and the ritual confirmed the connection before it went awry. Just don't discuss Lord Vivec's condition with anyone. We don't want to start a panic. If anything changes here, I'll contact you.
I hate the city. So much damned noise. How am I supposed to get any writing done with people like you coming and going at all hours? I thought the matter fairly straightforward. Spirits risen, terrorizing decent living folk with important research to finish. I don't care if it is their tomb. Get rid of them. I didn't stop to take a census as I was fleeing for my life. Suffice to say that the wraiths and skeletons will be the least of your problems. Those wretched Salathons have a veritable army haunting the place. The entire Salathon lineage died out in a monumental battle, yet they are barely a footnote in history. One does not secure a coveted historian role in a temple by ambling along well-trod ground. I must uncover their lost past. These aren't the benevolent ancestor spirits you may have heard of, Outlander. They're mad, or cursed, or both. I would love to hear of their lives in their own words, but that's proven impossible. They must...
Like a giant, our tower of stones. Red mountain, all rumbles and moans. It tosses and turns.
Yes?
Pray it won't wake. And then without warning, the ground starts
Short by more than a third. Someone is going to pay. That goes without question. But who? Oh! So you're going after them? That's great. That's great! Yes, anything I can do to help you. What do you want? Does seem odd, doesn't it? The first time, I thought it was an attempt to cover up fraud. But now I have another theory. I think the thieves are probing our records for wealthy monks. This could be the start of a rash of high-profile robberies. I don't have much in the way of specifics, but the fact that the tax offices were raided in several regions in a relatively short period of time, I'd say they have numbers. Didn't they say? Why does no one read my reports? Polk. I believe the thieves are hiding out in Polk. Educated guess, mostly. It's an ideal location for the band of outlaws to hole up that's convenient to the regions that were robbed. What cinched it for me, though, was a witness who identified their leader as Brolsa Inmador. She's wanted.
Drink all your cares away. Who wants to die with a thirst?
Are you working with the temple? Tell Omeril that we need someone for this moon sugar operation. Now!
Buying, selling. I've got what you need.
Just let hysteria their own world, the mad have lost, but only if they're returned.
Well, that's done. Now, what can I get for a weary traveler?
For by the word they're smitten.
You have a look about you. Some sort of quality that's rare to find. And trust me, I'm never wrong about these sort of things. Can I interest you in a room at the local inn? Actually, wait, that came out wrong. Look, empty rooms are just bad for business. The upkeep alone costs me more than the place is worth. But I think we can come to a sort of arrangement. And not the sort of arrangement that involves a few drinks, let me be clear about that. I need someone to improve the reputation of my properties. A hero type who people look up to. And I have a feeling about you. You've done something great and are probably on the way to do something greater. Seems like we can help each other here. Yeah, all right. Details. I can see how this might be a bit sketchy, but don't worry. The inn-room is well kept, conveniently located. I know you adventuring types wanting a home in every town. This would be a nice addition to your holdings. No catch. I just need someone to freshen up my image. And my gut tells me you're the one to do that. As long as you're not planning on turning it into a skooma den or an outlaw's refuge, the room is all yours. Oh, sure. You can set up some crafting stations, house your pets, display any treasures or trophies you've come upon in your adventures. Hey, you can even set up a target dummy to practice combat. Just don't demolish the place and we're good. Excellent. You won't regret this decision, I swear. Here's the deed and key to the room. Took me a while, but I finally was able to take them back from the last tenant. Required more time in the sewers than I had hoped for, but hey, that's business. Hope the room is to your liking. With your reputation, I'm sure you shouldn't have any trouble with the neighbors. If you do, remember death threats are not the way to go. Had a spot of trouble when my last tenant started sending those out. Nope, just make yourself at home. Spruce things up a bit. Honestly, I can't wait to see how you arrange the place. Hopefully you'll end up with a few less Daedric shrines than another former tenant of mine. Like 0. 0 is a good number. Oh, what a relief. I can't tell you how hard it is to wash bloodstains off of cobble floors. But that's not even the worst of it. I've had tenants cram their rooms with the wildest things. Mounts, foliage, assistants. I mean, it's an inn room. I own this and several other properties throughout Tamriel. It pays to diversify. Of course, that means I've got to look out for a variety of troubles, too. But hey, no one ever said the real estate business was easy.